is time for the Hawk Fanatic Show on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. We are brought to you every episode by Deary Brothers Ford, Steve Anderson and his team at Hawkeye Title and Settlement, Mike's E-Keys for Cars, GT Car and his great crew at Supple's Building and Remodeling, 1-800-800-ROSE and Hawkeye Courier, the Midtown Family Restaurants, Harty and Stocker Jewelers in downtown Iowa City, Diamond Dream Sports Academy in North Liberty, Senior Benefits, Premier Automotive also in North Liberty, the Ox Yoke Inn in the Amanas, Streets Maintenance, Dr. Lance Forbes and his staff at Diamond Dental in Cedar Rapids, dentist to the KCJJ staff, among some of us anyway, and Big Dog Tech Solutions, great lighting and other stuff that they can do for you as well. Good morning, Mr. Suter.
Good morning, Mr. Hunter. Yes, the Big Dog Tech lighting is so cool. The dental office just down the street from us has it. And it's really cool.
Yeah, it really, as the commercial says, makes your business pop.
Yeah, or your home.
Yeah, and you can do it whatever, for whatever season it is or whatever,
yeah.
The sports team you're rooting for or anything. It's give them a call today and find out how they can spiff up your house a little bit.
Yes.
So how was your weekend?
Pretty good.
Good.
Got a lot of yard work done yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Which was,
it was a perfect day for it.
It was.
Finally, the wind died down.
It was good.
Friday and Saturday, not so much.
No, and it's too bad for the baseball game. The games that it was so windy.
Yeah.
As it turns out, it didn't do us any favors, and we weren't able to take advantage of it.
No, basically outclassed by a superior team for 3 games.
I would say that is accurate. That Oregon looked like a pro team.
Yes, I mean up and down the lineup. It wasn't just like the top of the order. I mean all the way down to the 9th batter.
And we kind of kept their best hitter in check the whole time, and they still just murdered us.
Yes, they did.
I think this thing's on.
Okay.
The mic's on.
Yeah.
Just needs some volume in his headphones.
And he's got it now.
All right. Pat Harty is here with us. How was your weekend, Pat?
It was all right.
Good. So obviously we have the schedule for the Big Ten baseball tournament now.
We do. And Iowa's first game is game number 6 of the tournament, and that is on Wednesday.
At what, roughly 6?
Yeah,
6 o'clock, yes. So play Rutgers, a team we've handled this year.
Yeah, we won 2 out of 3 from in March, right? Yeah, March.
That was maybe our first Big Ten.
Might have been, yeah, because it was the first weekend in March. And then we play Indiana on Friday.
Is that win or lose?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
yeah,
like
the way they got it set up now, the pools and stuff. I don't get it.
Yeah, and we swept Indiana, so
we got lucky, I think, because we don't play in our pool. We don't play any of the West Coast teams.
No, but we would face them if we advance to the weekend.
Well, yeah, you're not going to win the tournament without facing one of the top 4 teams. Yeah,
for sure.
But this pool setup, I just don't get it. It just seems weird.
It is odd, and I was hoping one of you could explain it to me.
I don't even bother to even try to figure it out. Just they play at 6, and if they win, and it's double elimination, which
it is.
I'm not a huge fan of that, but I'm the minority there. So.
Well, like Illinois, they play Tuesday and Wednesday, and then if they advance, they don't play again until Saturday.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just the way it's set up. So
yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
But I think we got a good draw in the preliminary rounds. I mean, we got 2 teams that we've been able to beat. I mean, whatever happens
doesn't mean we're going to be able to now.
No,
of course,
it does not. And obviously, our record last month hasn't been great, but we played against 3 really good teams to finish up the season.
2 really good and 1. Washington's not really good.
Okay,
no. They're okay.
Fair enough.
They're okay. And the Iowa should have. I'm talking to Rick. He thinks they should have won that series for a number of reasons, but I mean, he was not happy they played the night game and what have you. But they've still lost 2 out of 3. I was there Saturday. Oregon is just a better team.
They are.
They're just a better team.
Hello.
Hello. Now, I was looking at the pool that Oregon's going to be playing, and they're going to be playing Michigan State and Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
Now, aren't they a little bit rougher than what we're playing?
Not really.
Well,
I mean,
no.
I guess, but
Nebraska's the 8th seed.
nobody in the Big Ten east of Colorado, would you say, is rugged? Seriously, I mean, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
nobody. Yeah, I mean, anyone in the old Big Ten is beatable.
Yeah, that's true.
Very beatable.
I watched Liberty last night beat Texas A&M, and Texas A&M was the number 1 softball team.
Yeah,
And
it
they
happens.
said this is the first time ever that
Well,
the number 1 was beaten out.
well, you know what they say. Give me liberty. Or give me death.
Liberty give you death.
That's right.
First time
Now
beaten out.
Liberty will be playing Oregon.
They said their first time they were beaten out this early in the tournament, because I don't think the number 1 seed wins the NCAA championship every year, do they?
No.
So I say this
I think
early.
last year Oklahoma did, but
So it must be the first time a number 1 seed. Was it their first game? Was it the opening round?
no. Well, they're in the regionals. Whoever won this goes to the super regional. So Liberty will go to the super regional.
And then the super regional.
So was it the first time a number 1 seed had lost in the regional? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's what
makes
they
sense.
were saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
But anyway, I went to that game, and that one on Friday night was cold.
I'll bet,
the one
yeah.
on Saturday wasn't too bad, but there was still some wind, but we never took advantage of the wind, and Oregon sure did.
That's right.
And
They did
I
everything.
hate to see them get the trophy and stand out in our field and celebrate,
Well,
That's
but we had to do it.
the way it goes.
it's been 35 years, Kern, and it's going to be hopefully not another 35.
The Iowa
Yeah.
players would have done the same thing out in
I thought,
Eugene,
my
and
gosh,
rightfully
this is
so.
the first time in many, many years that we had a chance to really get up there and do something.
Yep, well, we didn't.
But like my brother always says, he says, before he dies, he wants to see Cleveland do something.
Well, good luck.
Well, they won the
I said,
NBA
well-
World Title with LeBron.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the
Oh,
baseball
baseball?
team.
Yeah.
They got to the World Series a few years ago, didn't they?
Against the Cubs in
Yeah, but the
2016.
Cubs beat him out.
Yeah.
I thought of all the years, I've always rooted for either Cleveland or Cubs, and then what happens? They end up playing each other.
That's right, it was.
So is Rocky Colavito still playing for Cleveland?
No,
Yeah.
he's been dead.
Lou Boudreau, still the shortstop. Yeah.
I remember him way, way, way back there.
Yeah. There you go.
When they traded him, my one brother, Bob, he cried
Aw.
because he was a Cleveland fan back then.
Yeah. When you're a kid, man, you live and die with your team.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's
And
so
then,
much.
and then remember those baseball cards? You use them to put them on the bicycles
You
and
bet.
to make noise. And here, my gosh, those things would be really valuable.
Yes.
Oh,
You know, some kids probably had a $200,000 Mickey Mantle baseball
Rookie,
card on there.
rookie card.
oh yeah,
Yes.
rookie card. And then, jeez. I know my brother had a whole mess of them. When he left, my mom just picked them all up and threw them out in the trash. If I'd known that, I'd have
man.
run over there and grabbed them. But
You know, that happened so often to so many kids, you know, and I wish we had kept our baseball cards because
well, that's why they say they're valuable, because so many were thrown away.
Yeah. Well, I still have mine to go back to 1967, but unfortunately, I used a thumbtack and put them up on my wall. A couple of
Oh,
them.
yeah,
I
that'll do
got
it.
a great Willie Mays card with a big thumbtack hole in the top. Of
it's
it.
still worth something.
Sure, it is, and it doesn't matter because they're precious to me. I'm not selling them,
Yeah.
so.
What if someone said,
Well, I would have taken my brothers and put them into one of those photo albums.
Yeah.
But my mom just threw them out, and when I heard about it, I went, no, and I couldn't find. They weren't
Yep.
gone from the trash.
Comic books are the same deal.
yeah, that's
All
right.
right. Well, thank you for.
Okay, guys. Well, you have a good day.
Thanks, Karen.
See ya.
Bye.
But yeah, I mean, we had an amazing baseball card collection.
Yeah.
You know, and that gum that came with the cards was just awful.
The Topps gun.
The rock hard.
Topps gun was awful. The Fleer cards had the chalky bubble gum in them. Remember the chalky bubble gum? Yeah. That was a little better, but you're right. They probably packed those up in January and sold them in August. So.
Do they still have gum in them?
I don't know. I haven't purchased baseball cards in a long time. Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys. How we doing?
Hey, we're doing good. How are you doing?
Good. Hey, was Karn sitting in the front row of the baseball game?
No, I don't believe so.
No.
Okay, because there was a woman sitting in the front row that a couple of games, it didn't look like the same people sitting.
No, that was the lady I was talking about
so.
the other day who was wrapped in the blanket. No, that's not Karn.
Yeah,
that's not Karn.
Okay. I was just trying to put a face with the voice, so I was wondering if that was her or not.
Nope,
it was not.
Gotcha. As far as baseball cards, we used to do shows over there at the Eastdale Plaza. They did like a once-a-month show over there, and man, some of the stuff that you would see come walking in the doors, you'd be amazed at, the quality that they were. Nowadays, it's all about trying to find the one-of-one card.
Yeah.
Like Caitlin had a one-of-one autograph card. I think that was the one that went for right around $50,000. But that's the big deal now, is trying to find the one-of-one stuff.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that kind of stuff if you can pull the right card out of the package. But
yep,
I bought
to see kind of a resurgence of that. I'm sorry.
I bought a Caitlin Clark Iowa card. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's worth absolutely nothing, but I bought it right when it came out, and I am sure it is not
not $50,000.
No.
Okay.
There is a lot of value in the Caitlin cards. Even like some of the basic ones are worth $15, $20.
So
anyway, so do we have any thoughts on how Iowa will do this week in the baseball tournament? You guys got any thoughts on that?
My feelings are is if we play well, we will make it out of number one out of our pool, and then we will not beat UCLA.
Okay. Do you think we still have a shot at the big tournament, or are PI going to kill that?
They got to win the conference tournament, it looks like.
And there is no secondary tournaments out there like the NIT kind of stuff, is there, Pat?
For baseball, I'm not sure if there. I don't believe there is. I know softball has had them, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me, but I'm not aware of one.
I know it doesn't affect us, but there was a pretty good game. Liberty playing Texas A&M, and they knocked out the number one seed. That was such a good game.
Yeah, Karn just gave us a heads up about it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, Liberty, that was the first time they'd ever made gone past the first round, so it was cool to see.
Good for them.
Anyway, I won't take up any more time. You guys have a great day, like always. Thanks for keeping me company.
Where are you at?
Right now, I'm in a town called Pecatonic. It's over by Rockford.
Oh.
So I'm
Rockford, Illinois?
Heading back to Cedar Rapids.
Rockford, Illinois, and Connecticut?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Pecatonic is a really small little town. They've got a place that makes creamer for Walmart.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, then they got a cool little pizza place in town, too. They got really good pizza for being a little mom-and-pop place. Cool.
Yum.
So,
pizza sounds
anyway,
good.
it's always good talking to you, Mr. Suter, Pat.
All right.
And the big Cubs fan back behind the control board over there.
Thank you.
There you go.
We got a sweep for the White Sox, so we're in a pretty good mood.
Yeah, we're we got over a quarter of the way through the season and looking pretty good offensive-wise. Our pitching is a little suspect, but we'll see.
The bullpen can scare the heck out of you.
Oh, boy.
We'll see how it turns out. We're having fun right now. That's good.
Hey, you bet.
We are.
All right.
Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Well, the Sox bullpen the Cubs bullpen isn't great, but the Sox bullpen is atrocious. The starting pitchers kept them in the game, but when they went to the bullpen, it was all over.
Yeah,
all three games.
Sox are hopeless.
Yeah, it's too bad.
It's almost, how do you get so bad? Just series of terrible decisions for a number of years. Get rid of all your good players.
Did you see the Cubs in the 70s?
Yes, unfortunately.
Much of the 80s, and yeah, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the White Sox over the years have probably been better than the Cubs.
Yeah.
Probably so.
Consistently, but yeah, they're in a funk now. But
Boy.
I mean, was hoping the Cubs could beat the Mets. What was that? They lost 2 out of 3?
Yeah.
I mean, the Cubs are better than I thought, but they're not elite.
No.
I mean,
The dog-ass Mets are good, though.
Oh, the Mets are good.
Yeah.
They lost last night, but the Yankees are good.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers are good.
Aaron Judge is still hitting over 400.
Yeah,
he's got 30. He's up like 20, 25 points better than any other player. So there's like 20 players hitting 300 or above in the whole majors.
Yeah, he's earning his money.
It's incredible.
Yeah. And the Cubs have 3 in the top 20 in OPS, and they're third in the majors in hitting, second in the National League. So the offense is not a problem. They were scoring almost 6 runs a game.
Well, and they're in the right division.
Yes, they are.
So I still think the team that wins the division is maybe going to be lucky to be 10 games over 500.
Yeah, Cubs are 9 right now, and they already had the toughest leg of their season.
Yeah,
behind
but
them.
I don't.
But
I don't.
but
With
buy
all
that
the
stuff.
Dodgers games.
But that doesn't, the
And
game. They still got to play the games,
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
and anything can happen.
I look at that more in college sports, pro sports. I don't know. I think baseball's so hard to predict. I mean, especially with their bullpen issues. But no, they've got a great chance to win a pretty mediocre division.
Well, and with 162 games, you're gonna have injuries.
Yeah, they lost a
And-
starting pitcher, and
Yep.
so I mean,
You're also going to have slumps too.
You bet.
absolutely.
And you
So-
can't avoid it. You can't.
right.
I mean, they're not. I mean, figure what the Dodgers, the Yankees. I'll put them. I'll put the Mets.
Yeah.
But I put the Cubs like with the Tigers right now. I mean,
Yeah.
the
The
I think
Tigers
the
are good.
Tigers have been. Yeah, they're and so we'll see. I mean, at least there's something to talk about.
Yeah, and so they're
For
playing.
now.
They're playing the Marlins, who are suspect this year, and then they play Cincinnati, who's right around a 500 team this weekend. So
And it wouldn't be surprised if they lost both series or if they won both series.
No.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how baseball is, especially with the Reds. There's been times where the Cubs have been better than the Reds, and somehow they lose 3 out of 4.
yes,
And it's not Riverfront anymore, is it? Riverfront, remember the old
I
Riverfront?
don't believe it is.
Wasn't that Cincinnati Riverfront Stadium?
yeah, that was back when they started doing the cookie cutter stadiums like Three
In the
Rivers.
70s, they were all the exact same thing.
Phillies. I can't remember what the Phillies.
They're hotter than a skillet. I mean, in the summer.
Yeah, because they AstroTurf.
Yeah, 1970s baseball. I remember that.
Well, they went from Crosley Field, which had been in use for like 60 years, to Riverfront Stadium. That was amazing. And they had that big scoreboard, and it was fun to watch on TV, but I can't imagine it was fun to play on.
No, you'd get 150 degrees.
Well, yeah.
Well, I want to mention Kalen Walker won the 100 meters.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
I mean, we're sitting here rambling about nothing, and I forgot to mention he won the 100 meters. I reached out to Matt to see if there's a chance we might be able to get him on between now and 10:30, but I haven't heard back. My guess is no. They're probably either in transport or if it's out in Eugene. When I got here, they're 2 hours behind us. But if I happen to hear from Matt or whatever, and he does, we got like another hour or so, a little over an hour, and we'll see what happens.
What an accomplishment.
Yeah, 10.17. And I think, what did Iowa finish, 5th in the team standings or 7th?
And I thought it was
Or 8th.
8th, and the women finished 9th.
Yeah, I mean, it was, which doesn't sound good if you're used to Big Ten, but it's not as bad as it. I mean, just finish 8th means there's 10 teams that finish below you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, they want to finish higher, but no, that was good. Remember, Kalen, we not only had him as a guest, he came into the show. He came into the studio. He was great.
Yes, he was.
He loved it, too. So we'll have him on at some point again, and pretty easy pick for this week's Hawk Fanatic Athlete of the Week when you do something like that. He was,
I should say.
But yeah, 10.17, fastest in the Big Ten, and now he'll have a chance to go even further at the NCAA. What's that, in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
And that's also in Eugene, isn't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, everything's in Eugene, which I get
Boy,
is a great
they
facility.
Oregon has just torn it up in their first year in the Big Ten.
Well, not surprising.
No.
And a lot of it is NIL, but I looked at that baseball team. That baseball team had a ton of players from Oregon. Had some from California, some from Vegas, a couple from New Mexico, but a lot of it was local. But man, were they good.
Oh,
They and like Rick said, they executed everything. They hit with power, but then they had some great bunts.
They did. The small ball was
The one guy had that.
devastating.
He had a grand slam, and then I think it was his next to plate appearance. He did that drag bunt, and they scored a run on it. His name was Carter Girardi, I believe was his name. He came in with 1 home run, left with 4. He hit 3 in the series. But yeah, no, they were just a better team, and But still, 21-9. I mean, it's incredible to think that you have to win your conference tournament to get in. But when your RPI ranking, last I saw it was 69. I'm not sure it probably dropped much with another loss to Oregon, but it obviously didn't go up.
Yeah.
And that's what the killer is right there. So
well,
we'll see.
9-11-1 in their non-conference.
Well, yeah, and also the 1-7-1 in their last 9 games. That's it.
Yeah,
I mean that's it. I mean, if they had been able to go 7-1-1, we'd be talking about a Big Ten champion going away, number 1 seed in the tournament in the NCAA tournament. But I mean,
I'd have me a new T-shirt.
Just didn't happen. Didn't come close to happening.
No.
I mean, if they could have just gone, maybe even 4-1. Might have. I mean, it would have won them the championship. I mean, yeah. I mean, it just they had such a wide margin for error in some ways, and yet it wasn't wide enough.
It wasn't enough.
Oregon came in and did the one and only thing they could do to win, which sweep, and they outscored them 32-10.
Yeah, it wasn't. When we were ahead 6-2 on Friday,
I
actually thought we had.
But we hadn't seen enough of Oregon yet by then.
No.
And then we saw what they did there, and then you just realized, wow, this team is really, really good.
Boy, they were too.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you, the fans showed up. The atmosphere was great. It just didn't happen. I don't like the big water tower in the back. It's an eyesore, but I got to get used to it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's just a big eyesore, isn't it?
It is weird.
And I wonder if they're going to.
It's not done, is it?
I don't believe so, because I'm hoping they're going to. The top of it, they've coated it with something white. I'm wondering if they'll do that or do maybe black. Because now it looks like it should be out like next to a silo, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And it popped up kind of without warning. At least I wasn't aware. I just started. I'm like, what is that thing? It started to get bigger and bigger. Next thing you know, it's freaking. You see it in almost every campus shot now.
Yeah. And it doesn't have the panache of the old Capitol, does it?
No, but maybe they're going to do some Maybe they're going to do some decorating enhancement on the exterior. I mean, because it doesn't look like it's done. There's still a crane thing sitting on top, but it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's huge.
It is.
No, it's very big.
Maybe they'll get some professional lighting on it or something.
Maybe.
I would think they would do something Hawkeye related, wouldn't
Maybe
they?
get Big Dog Tech to wire up some stuff there.
They could have a tiger hawk on it.
But were you aware that thing was coming?
I should have been.
I should have been and was not. I'm sure we had been told if we read the right stuff, but I had no clue what it was and working over there like I often do at press conferences. I saw it going from the very beginning. I just kept looking over there. What the hell is that thing? And then I was finally asked somebody about halfway through the project, and I was told what. But yeah, no, it's big.
It's a complicated thing. I mean, they're going to take down the old one so they can build up around that hospital campus.
Yeah.
And this one is supposed to be serve more of the campus.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're clearing more room for the hospital because it continues to spread, and there's no room for it to spread.
Have you been out to that one up at North Liberty recently? Have you seen
I have been by it
Isn't it just
a dozen times.
Isn't it just a monolith? It's so
it
cool.
Is.
So cool. It really is.
Which one?
The new
one in North Liberty.
I'm sure I've driven.
Oh, my God.
Right off of 965?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven by that plenty of times. Yeah, it's a big building that says UI Health on it.
Yeah, now that it's done, and then
just the big one there on the First Avenue stretch in Coralville when you come in off the interstate. It's another big building there. So, but yeah, no, it's just weird going over there and kind of seeing, and then like when I was watching the baseball game, a lot of it on TV. You see, and there's that big old tower in the background often. It's here to stay. It's part of the Hawkeye landscape.
It is.
You think they'll put a Tiger Hawk on it?
I hope so. I do hope so. I've always felt they should have, because to me, Carver Hawkeye always looks unfinished.
The roof with the stains on it? Do you like the stains?
What I would like to see is a gigantic Tiger Hawk.
I thought you were going to say statue of Caitlin on top.
Okay, that'd be cool too. But a gigantic, beautifully lit Tiger Hawk as you're walking into Carver, I think it would look magnificent. Mm-hmm. There must be a reason that they don't.
You mean on the roof?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if they could though, because
maybe not.
The way the roof is designed. I mean, you've seen it. They've got the big bars that extend, but those tarp. What are those things? Those big tarp type things that got stains on them. I mean, that's. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
They're stains. Don't they look like rust stains?
They do.
They do.
And I don't know if those things ever get changed. I don't recall them ever. I've been here 30 years, and I don't recall anything ever changing on top of the roof. They don't look like it's it doesn't look like it's some type of cloth or like some type of tarp a tarp.
Yeah,
a tarp.
It does. I'm sure it's more.
And I think that's the finished part. But you're right, though. It looks like the roof isn't done.
It
always
does.
looked that way.
It's always looked that way.
And now that you see more of it, since the little forest area is gone, and now you have the wrestling, there's just so much more of it's visible now.
Yeah.
You see the roof, it seems like a lot more than you used to. I mean, I understand progress in the wrestling facility. Don't you sort of miss the little nature reserve or whatever that was?
A little bit.
And it's crazy to think that's so far gone now. I can barely picture it in my head anymore. Whereas for years I was used to just seeing that.
Hello.
We used to work in Carver a lot, and from what I understand, those are called diapers. And it was a design flaw from day one. They could never get the roof to stop leaking.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Okay, that makes sense.
From day one.
Wow. No wonder Lute left. That was his baby, Carver,
It was
wasn't
his
it?
baby. Yeah, thanks, Lute.
He's the one who started the project. Wasn't he the one who bitched and moaned, get me out of the field?
Lute.
Get me out of the field house. He didn't. I think he was tired of the field house, don't you? It wasn't good enough for him.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't modern enough.
And I
for
guess Carver wasn't either.
Well, yeah, because he left the year
1
after.
year?
1 year. He was there for the opening year of it. And,
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
But that's amazing to think that you'd have something that significant with that major of a flaw.
Yeah.
If you're Iowa, would you be upset at the?
Oh, I'm sure there's been a billion lawsuits over it. Yeah, sure. Of course, they'd be upset.
Well, they had a design flaw with the Stead Family Children's Hospital. How
The
long
windows.
How long did that take to get finally done? And
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
yeah. So
that explains it, though. So that is rust and stuff. But it's not a good look.
No, it's not visually attractive.
And now it's just so much
all.
easier to see. There's so far fewer trees over there now.
Yeah.
Because when you're driving up, what is it? The road that wraps around the house, is that Hawkins Road?
Yeah,
And
Hawkins Drive.
all those trees, because now there's that roundabout right there.
Yeah.
There's a ton of trees that got cut down there too. Yeah. There's so fewer trees now around Carver. It's just kind of. I mean, I understand that progress is progress, and there's only so much room to build this stuff. Because it's getting pretty crowded over there, wouldn't you say?
It is. It is.
I mean, and with this new ramp coming up, there's just no room for anything hardly over there anymore.
Unless you take down Kinnick Stadium, then there'd be a lot of room.
Yeah. Well, I remember 20 years ago,
There
one of the
was
stories festering was, okay, we got to go out west. But then they chose to renovate instead and spent millions of dollars doing that with Bowlesby, which was fine. But there was, don't you remember, discussion? People
sure.
saying, I think it's time to build and have a big, massive parking lot all around it because they've got all that. They still have a ton of room out there, land out there, don't they?
Absolutely,
Tons
do.
of it.
Yeah.
But when they chose to renovate, and I get it, the ambiance and whatever, but there is a lack of space problem, wouldn't you say?
Completely.
Yeah. Some will say that's part of the ambiance, and that's not necessarily me. But I mean, is that part of the ambiance to you?
No,
the ambiance is waiting waiting in traffic for an hour and a half to get out of there after a game. That's great.
Yeah. Now I will say that happens at a lot of places, but there's just not a lot of room. There's just not much room over there because the hospital. So Tom, you've been here. Is it that nobody expected the hospital to grow like this?
I don't believe they did. No, I don't think anybody could have seen that much expansion.
Okay, now of course,
and it's not even a fraction of what they need.
And of course, I'm Mr. Hindsight right now, but why wouldn't people have seen that coming?
I don't know. The aging population, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm. There are probably people that did see it coming. They just got ignored.
But I mean, as much as the main hospital has grown, and it's
still growing,
incredibly growing still. Mm-hmm. But look at all the satellite things: the North Liberty, the Coralville, and it's not even close to enough.
I'm wondering though. We were talking about the area out west where we thought maybe Kinnick might go. I'm sure they're going to eventually build out there too, hospital-wise. That's the next place to go. But I think it's good though to be in North Liberty and to be.
Oh, I do too.
I wonder, do you think they'll ever go as far to like Solon? West?
Don't know.
I wonder if they were. It'll be interesting to see because obviously now with this ramp built, Is there?
If there's enough population that needs the care in that area, they will build.
Yes.
Absolutely, they will.
Well, and there's no room. This ramp that's being built now, that's it. There's no more room. There's really room for nothing else, right? Seriously, is there? In that general area?
I mean, there are still some houses and stuff.
Oh yeah, if you want to, what's that? Eminent domain? Would that work?
I doubt.
No, there's a few. But I wonder if though most of the houses that are still there are probably there by choice.
Sure.
And the university, and they're probably owned by the university anyway.
Oh, probably so.
So, but yeah, it's amazed how. I'm not saying it's cluttered, but it's amazing what's been built in this area in the time. I've been here a little over 30 years. I mean, when I got here, you had Slater and you had the other one right across. But that was it. And now if you go over there, look at all the other, it's incredible.
It is incredible. And I can't even keep track of what everything is anymore. I mean, the new buildings going up. And, and they're not outdated by the time they're put up, but they are pretty much full by the time they're put up.
What used to be where the Children's Hospital is? I can't believe I'm asking that because I've lived here. What was there?
Fields. There were fields right where Kinnick is, that abutted Melrose. It was fields. There were open fields. I used to walk across them.
So we're talking open fields in like 2000?
No.
Because
much earlier.
The Children's Hospital. When was that? That was built in the time I've been here.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was built 20 years ago.
It opened 10, 11 years ago.
So what was there prior to that? Is what I mean. What was there 15 years ago? I don't remember. I seriously don't remember unless it was just more frontage area to the hospital.
I think that's right.
Is that what it was? Okay.
And then in the 70s, 60s and 70s, a lot of that was open, wide open.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay, that's what I figured. That's obviously way before my time, but in the
60s, there was a practice field.
But there was a lot of time while I've been here where that Children's Hospital wasn't there, and I don't recall what was there, but I do think it was just more of the entrance to the hospital, I believe.
I think you're right. I'm very poor at remembering what used to be in a space.
But there obviously weren't homes or anything there. It was more okay. So, but it's incredible though to think that I remember that hospital being built. I remember it, step by step. And now look at it. It's probably
maybe this caller has
one of the more famous landmarks on the campus now, wouldn't you say? With the wave and all that stuff.
You bet.
Hello.
Well, I tell you, there's even a Steadfast Children's Family Hospital clinic in Cedar Falls. So.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay, I was not aware of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's continuing to grow. So
it's incredible.
All right.
And when that 100-meter champion. And for track and field, do you remember when he ran that race inside Kennick, and he almost looked like a cartoon character? He was so fast.
Yeah, that's why we had him in right after. Yeah. That's when we had him in. We had him in right after running there. It was a blistering time. I know that. I can't remember it specifically, but it was fast. He can move.
All right, go Hawks.
Good kid too. That was a fun interview. And remember, he did say that he might try football once he's done with all this, because someone that fast who's played football, which he did. They're going to give him a chance. The NFL will say, "Yeah, come out and let's see what you can do."
He got off to such a fast start in that 100-meter.
See, I haven't seen it.
It's just astounding.
Hello.
Hey, good morning. Hey, wasn't the baseball field in that corner at one time?
At one time, yeah.
But that's in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
Yeah.
The baseball field was right over by the field house.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
Thanks. And the field house is maybe not going to be around forever, huh?
Is that right?
I think they got plans.
I'm sure they do. Hello.
Okay, so right before they built the Children's Hospital, Ramp 2 and the bus station were there.
That's right. Okay, now I sort of remember it.
The bus station.
I sort of remember. Yeah,
they moved the bus station over to the north side of Kinnick.
Okay. And Ramp 2, yep, I sort of...
Yeah, I don't remember the bus station at all.
And you probably walked by it a million times.
It was built inside the ramp. It was on the lower level, or the first floor of the ramp.
Yeah.
You were just oblivious to your
surroundings? Yeah, no, I remember from the 60s what that stuff was, but yeah, I can't remember.
Not from the 90s and the 2000s.
No. Yeah. I remember tailgating there as a kid.
Yeah?
I think only Carver was built back in the 70s when I was coming up here.
And Carver was just a big open field, right? Just like a nature field.
Carver, well, I mean...
It was just trees and hills, wasn't it?
Yeah. believe so.
But how long has Carver been there?
82, 83. So 42, 43 years.
I thought it was a little, but maybe not.
82, 83 was the
loot.
82, 83 was the first year for Carver.
No, I don't mean the arena. I mean Roy Carver Pavilion in the hospital.
Oh,
I have no idea.
yeah.
I have no idea. I
No
thought you were
idea.
talking about the
I think
arena.
it was 70s sometime.
Probably.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But when I was walking to the baseball game the other day, we had to park at the track, over by the Kretzmeyer track, and then walk over to the baseball diamond. And then I spent so much time as a kid playing on that golf course, the Lower Finkbine, North Finkbine.
Yeah, I saw women's wrestling tweeted, or they are going to participate in the second throwdown on the Yorktown, taking place on the flight deck of the USS Yorktown. Let's see when. November 15th, 2015, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, Iowa women's wrestling. You think they'll do all right against their competition, whoever it is?
I imagine they will.
Well, what is their record on aircraft carriers? Do we have any stats on that?
I mean, have they ever lost?
0-1. Yeah,
Have they ever lost?
I don't think so.
I don't recall them ever losing in anything.
No.
Usually, it's just maulings.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been
I mean,
pretty
didn't they win
dominant.
the NCAAs pretty handily?
Yep.
Last year it was a little closer. This year wasn't it?
It was dominant.
Pretty much just dominant. So I'm guessing. I mean, they just start throwing their opponents off the.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Are we talking about that space where the Children's Hospital is now?
That's part of what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
somebody said it was ramp 2 and the bus station.
Yes. Yeah, it was a ramp there, a parking ramp there.
Yeah, I am. It is starting to come back to me a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
It is funny though that I remember stuff better from the. I'm with you, but yeah, it is coming back a little bit. The bus station too, because I do remember buses coming in and out of there and what have you. But it's amazing how much it has changed.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember?
And my mother lived over there.
So when did you come into town, Pat?
91.
Okay, so when you came in, there was a dump and a strip club where the Iowa River Landing is now.
Well, yeah. Dolls. I lived over I lived on 7th Avenue.
Uh-huh.
I remember walking to Dolls. I will admit, I was in my 20s.
Yes.
I remember walking to Dolls a few times and,
it's what you do.
regretting
The Skell Diner there had the best breakfasts in the world, man, right up.
So you can go from flesh to eggs.
You could.
Right there.
JC's Cafe, wasn't that on 1st Avenue at one point?
Did you ever fester at Dolls?
JC's Cafe? No, that was...
Tom, did you ever fester at Dolls?
Never.
You never went there?
I'm not
really a big... But I've been to some. But I've never... I would say I've probably been to
No, I was never there.
Okay. Hello, you're on the air.
God, it has changed a lot.
I have a comment to make. Behind
Sure.
the press box of Kenny in the parking lot there, do you remember when the old tin hut housing was there?
I sure do, and I had some friends.
Now, what year are we
grew up
talking
there.
about?
In the 50s.
Okay, no. I don't remember.
That might show how old we are.
But it was post-World War II housing. Yeah, the Quonset huts, and they, right where I think lot 43.
Yeah, you couldn't have been. You were, 5, 6 years old?
But I remember it.
Okay, yeah, I can remember. Yeah, I wasn't alive, so there's no way I could.
Yeah.
Could
that
remember.
was very interesting.
So where was that again? Where was it?
I think it's lot 43, right? Where the press box is.
Oh, okay.
That lot behind that.
Where
was
you
Quonset
guys
huts.
used to do your radio show?
Yes.
In the parking lot there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the parking lot, yeah.
But I had a number of friends who had homes there.
Why were people living in Quonset huts?
Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, thank you for the call.
Okay, I'm not being...
Because there wasn't enough housing. World War II.
Oh, okay, so this was right after... Okay, so I get
and a lot of them were university employees
okay.
that didn't have anywhere to...
Okay, that explains it. When you said 50s, I guess, I guess that is still somewhat short after the war. When did they get rid of those?
Imagine... late 50s,
So you're telling me during Evie's dominance, the Quonset huts were right outside?
I believe
interesting. That's an interesting dynamic that I was not aware of. Huh.
Yeah.
Hello.
Morning, guys. The Quonset hut you're talking about, where the stadium press box
Yes.
was?
Yes.
To the west of that was called Stadium Park.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Relatively small group of Quonset. They weren't Quonsets, they were barracks.
Okay.
Quonsets have rounded tops, barracks are angled.
Okay.
My definition.
Okay, I believe you.
Across the street from Carver to the east was Finkbine Park. Probably the largest of the various barracks that were built, apparently for people returning from World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Those were torn down in 1970 for the dental college, Finkbine Park. Stadium Park, I believe, was eliminated prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
Not by a lot of years, but somewhat.
Yeah.
You also had a park down on Haley Street where Hansher was or is now, Templin Park.
I remember all these names, yeah. God.
And you had
weird.
Riverside Park, very small number of units, River Street and Riverside Drive.
Okay.
And I believe there's one more, and I cannot think what it is.
Was there one out by the airport?
Excuse me?
Was there one out by the airport?
Down by the airport, did you say?
Yes.
I think so, but I do not remember where that would have been.
I have a vague recollection of that, but I could be wrong. That's a few years back. Might have killed those brain cells.
But they're all are gone by around 1970 or 75.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks, Bill.
Interesting program, gentlemen. Keep it up.
All right. We're not going to keep it up, though, because we're going to take a break.
We should do that.
Let's do it.
Hawk Fanatic on the Mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Your life is always changing, and a lot of things can affect how and what you save. So a good retirement plan changes with your life. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. So start a conversation today. Wells Fargo Advisors. Together, we'll go far. For information locally, call 338-3799 or 866-217-2369 or stop by 501 12th Avenue, Suite 201, Coralville. Wells Fargo Advisors, LLC, member SIPC.
GT Carr, owner of Supple's Building and Remodeling, has been offering unmatched service and quality for over 25 years. The trained professionals at Supple's Building and Remodeling will install and guarantee the products used in any job, no matter how big or small. They also stand behind their work and offer no-nonsense, exceptional customer service from design to completion and beyond. Whether it's a simple window replacement or a major house addition, you'll have the confidence that Supple's Building and Remodeling is committed to quality. Visit supples.net or call them today at 319-337-2246. You take great care to maintain your home or business inside and out, but maybe, just maybe, there's something missing. Something that makes your home stand out among the others in your neighborhood. Something that makes your business pop and increases traffic. Something that you can change and customize at your command. Well, there's a solution, and that's Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting from Big Dog Tech. Illuminlights provides illumination for every occasion. Holiday lighting, accent lights, security, and of course lighting for all your favorite sports. The Illuminlights app lets you create your own patterns with color, motion, brightness, and static control over every individual light, or use Big Dog's presets to transform your home or business. The professionally installed track system makes Illuminlight's LEDs virtually disappear until you turn them on. Rated at 50,000 hours, you'll enjoy stress-free convenience for years to come. For more information about Illuminlight's permanent outdoor lighting, go to BigDogTEK.net or give them a call at 319-395-0800. That's 319-395-0800.
The Oxyoke Inn is ready to serve you with the same fresh food, prepared to order and served with a passion that you've come to expect since 1940. Serving our famous Sunday brunch buffet with lunch, dinner, family-style banquets, and carry-out daily. Reservations are easy at oxyokeinn.com or call for big or small tables and private rooms. We can't wait to serve you soon at the Oxyoke Inn.
The Oxyoke Inn.
In the heart of Amana.
Are you tired of living in a home that doesn't quite meet your needs? Then it's time to call the experts at Streets Maintenance. Their team of skilled professionals specializes in renovations and remodeling, transforming your home into the space you've always dreamed of. From kitchen and bath remodels to complete home renovations, no job is too big or too small. Streets Maintenance will work with you every step of the way. to ensure your vision becomes a reality. So don't wait any longer. Call Streets Maintenance to schedule your consultation at 400-4483. Let's start building your dream home today.
Once upon a time, in the land of the Hawkeyes, a business grew. A business that would become synonymous with real estate. Hi, I'm Steve Anderson of Hawkeye Title and Settlement. When you're buying or selling your home, you'll need title and settlement services. Consider the Hawkeye Title and Settlement team. Give us a call at 351-8600. Hawkeye Title and Settlement, the team you love, the people you trust.
Don't wait for an emergency to get a backup for your car keys. Unlike the olden days, car keys have gotten extremely complex. Mike's eKeys for Cars can generate the most technically advanced automotive keys that are on the market today. For spares and lost keys, Mike's eKeys for Cars can produce most conventional transponder, high security, and remote head keys. Mike's eKeys for Cars will keep you on the road. Call 319-330-9185 and schedule an appointment today. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 319-330-9185 today.
Don't let just anyone take care of your smile. At Diamond Dental, you can expect compassion, expertise, and a personalized care plan to protect your teeth for life. With more than 30 years of combined experience, Dr. Forbes and his staff are prepared to tackle even your toughest dental problems, leaving your smile healthy and sparkling. Diamond Dental offers a full range of general and cosmetic dentistry, as well as dental treatment options for snoring and sleep apnea. It's never too early to start thinking about what's best for your smile. Schedule an appointment today by calling 319-390-3703 or visiting the office at 5815 Consul Street Northeast, Suite D1 in Cedar Rapids. You can also visit DiamondDentalPC.com for more information. Dr. Forbes is a proud sponsor of the Hawkeye Wrestling Club and the Inner Circle. Let the Diamond Dental team provide superior care for your entire family.
This is Leah Pasha, and I've been saying, hit a deer, call Premier, for years. But it's time for something new. It's still where you need to go for deer divots and door dings, as well as damaged dashboards. That's what my dad Nathan's driving at and dreams about. Why not say, when your car is dinged, be a deer and call Premier? I think Dad's going to love that. Premier Automotive, North Liberty's premier auto body repair shop.
Be a deer and call Premier Auto Body in North Liberty.
Diamond Dream Sports Academy, 20,000 square foot indoor facility, holds 8 batting cages, space for infield work, space for throwing and pitching and all your arm care needs. Offers private instruction, group lessons, camps and clinics, leagues, memberships. Rentals available at Diamond Dreams is open to the public.
Our top level instructors include former professional, college, and Olympic athletes. Our coaches will help these athletes achieve their full athletic potential. Develop a strong work ethic and a solid base to build. The last thing you want to do is look back and wish you had worked or played harder.
Locally owned and established in 2005, Diamond Dreams is Eastern Iowa's premier training facility. Located at 2905 Stoner Court, North Liberty. Call today and reserve your time. 319-665-2173. 319-665-2173.
From the Harty and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Harty and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
I'm meteorologist Brittany Merlot. Mostly cloudy and breezy today, with high temperatures in the mid-60s and showers and thunderstorms. Continuing through this evening, they'll be soaking us, and some could be strong to severe. The rain won't quit tomorrow either. With another inch or so possible, flooding becomes a risk. Rain chances continue into our Wednesday before we dry things out on Thursday. That's the forecast on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now, it's 49.
KCJJ weather. Brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply, kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
We are back with Hawk Fanatic with Pat Harty and Tom Suter. And baseball, high school baseball starts today. Well, it looks like we'll probably get the games in today. They might move some of the times up. They notified us and said just keep an eye out on their social media to find out whether they're going to move games up or not, but Tuesday might be a little problematic.
And that's when we're supposed to start our schedule,
yes,
of course.
We are.
I was talking to Ray about that this morning.
I'm sure. So we'll see.
Have him do double headers.
He actually is doing one, I think.
Damn right he is.
Is it in Solon? He's doing a softball-baseball doubleheader?
Yes.
Where it's,
there you go.
As soon as the one game ends, he packs up his kit bag and crosses the street
Kit
into the
bag. Isn't that a
And loves
World
it.
War II.
Yes.
And loves every minute of it.
Yes, he does.
Loves every minute. Living the dream.
There's a lot of 5 o'clock starts, so if he's looking for a color guy, I think I might be able to help him.
Well, that's when doubleheaders usually start.
Well, wasn't Solon where you got literally crapped on last year?
Yes, it was. Just sitting there minding my own business.
Yeah, the doubleheaders usually start at 5 and end around 1 a.m.
Yeah, we've changed our broadcast policy. We just do the first game now. We don't stay and do the doubleheaders for the most part. But maybe we can.
He would if you'd let him.
Well, he's got to get up early too.
It doesn't matter. He does it for the kids.
Hello.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's John Balmer. I'm just reporting in on the Fever game that we attended this past weekend.
Oh, cool.
There was, needless to say, it was a great show, a sellout crowd. Fans are really into it down there. It's a great basketball country, and I'm sure most of their games will be sold out this year. It was interesting talking to people there that said back in the day when they had some really good teams way back when. They basically it was hard to give tickets away. So we've come full circle here.
Yep.
And, we paid dearly for them, but it was worth it to us.
Uh-huh. Did you have decent seats?
We had decent seats. We were kind of. You've been to Gainbridge. I've never been there.
Oh no, I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
Uh-uh.
Okay. Well, they have a lower tier. We were in the second tier, which they were great seats. You could just in the middle. We could see everything.
Well, yeah, those are good seats. I've been
see
there.
everything unfold and the plays unfold, and that was great. We paid $625 a ticket for God's sake, but
Yikes.
it was worth it. It was worth it to us. It's kind of a one-time deal for us, probably. And
Caitlin just draining everybody's bank accounts.
they're going to probably erect a statue of her down there.
I think Iowa will at some point outside of Carver. Where the Gable one. I've already written that one. I can't. Where the Gable statue used to be, that's where you put her.
I hope they do.
You put her shooting the three.
Well,
or with her hands up. I'd rather have her with her hands up like protesting a call. Wouldn't that be good, too?
That'd be good.
I would love that statue.
Yeah. Well, she's obviously meant so much, just to the sport and to the state of Iowa. She's just such a class person. And, you probably saw the game and witnessed the foul.
I didn't see any of it. I was over at baseball.
Yes, I saw all of it. It was great.
Yeah. And the foul, it was a hard foul, but she explained it very well.
Yeah.
We watched the replay.
Angel Reese she overreacted.
Yeah. Who, Reese?
Yeah.
Oh God, yes, it's typical. She is so jealous of Kayla.
Oh,
it isn't fun.
She oozes jealousy.
Yeah.
She does.
And it's too bad because...
Yeah, because every time it becomes racial. It becomes a racial issue.
She makes it race.
Well, yeah, and then the lady on ESPN, they just take the bait, and it just becomes a racial thing. It was a hard foul against somebody who can't shoot free throws. Caitlin knew she can't shoot free throws, so why give her a wide-open layup, make her go to the line? Mm-hmm. And that was it.
But you saw that the WNBA says they're investigating.
Yeah, they have to appease
that's a
crap.
bunch of BS. There's always knuckleheads around, and unfortunately, she takes the bait on that stuff.
Well, I've seen people. Well, what if it was the other way around? Well, Angel Reese would be an idiot if she would intentionally foul Caitlin because Caitlin's a 90% free throw shooter. I mean, this was a basketball strategy play.
Yeah,
people used to do it to Shaq, the hack-a-Shaq.
Yeah, it's a basketball play.
And she was going for a wide-open layup, and Caitlin saw a chance. Nope, you're going to go to the free throw line. I don't know. Did she make the free throws?
No, made one of two.
Okay, so they gained a point.
Well, when she got up and went for it, Caitlin, that was when the
melodrama, attention.
And then poor Aaliyah Boston, she's trying to be the peacemaker, and they gave her a T.
Yeah. Well, they gave both Angel and Aaliyah a T.
But
no
right
reason.
before that, Angel had thrown Letitia Howard down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd noticed that.
I did see that. Yep. Pushed her.
Well, the additions to the Fever are really solid. I mean, you got two starters now, Bonner and
Bonner was
Howard.
A huge addition. So was Howard. Yeah, no, if they win it, man, their general management, their executives did a great job.
Well, they've got a new president and a new general manager.
And a new head coach.
Kind of recycled these women who are really good, and it's going to be tough because the Liberty are good still, and the Miss.
Oh yeah, I'd still pick the
Liberty's
field.
great.
I'd still pick the field if I had to, But they got a chance. They got a chance. And getting DeWanna Bonner was huge because she spreads the floor. If you surround Caitlin with other three-point shooters, we've seen what can happen at Iowa, and that's what DeWanna Bonner can shoot threes.
She can.
Yeah,
She holds a great three-point shooter.
37 years young. God, she can get down the floor.
And she stayed in great shape.
Yeah.
I think they're actually playing faster this year too, guys.
Oh, and Caitlin's a lot better now than she was at this point last year.
She is.
Remember, she had some rough stretches to start with.
Yes, she did.
Yeah.
Did she have a game where she went like 1 for 7 and scored like 5-6 points?
She did, and then her first game she had 10 turnovers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't it a triple-double?
You can tell she's stronger too.
Oh yeah, without question.
Physically, I don't think there's any question about that.
No, she's put in a lot of time in the weight room. Her biceps, everything.
Her passing is superb as usual. She'd have had probably four more assists.
Yes, at least.
I think she between Iowa and I don't know what happened in high school, but I bet she holds the lifetime record for most near assists.
Yeah, for most blown layups.
Layups in transition.
Yeah.
Well, you saw that her triple doubles in the WNBA, how fast she's got, and she's going to obliterate those records before it's all said and done.
Yep.
No, it's amazing, and more that she's got the imagination of the crowd because I was wearing a Fever shirt with her number and was sitting in the lobby, and a couple of young kids walked by, and they looked at me and said, "Go, Caitlin!" and they were young boys. I mean, it's boys and girls.
Yeah,
oh, for sure.
It's just, it's a phenomenon unlike anything we'll ever witness again. But got to be proud of how she's carried herself too for our state.
She is must see viewing for me. Mm-hmm. And I'm certainly not alone.
Yeah, no, it's you just hope that she that she can stay injury free during this whole thing because that could be that could be an issue. One of their key players was out, Cunningham, with a bad ankle, and she's going to be a real asset to the team.
She is. So. She is, and one of the reasons Caitlin was able to set all those records in college is because she stayed injury free. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And if you have a bunch of injuries, you can't build up those kind of numbers. You can't.
No question. Yep. Absolutely, Tom. It's fun to watch. We're going to obviously see more games on TV too, which WNBA is smart here by showcasing there for
Mm-hmm.
I've got a person in our office who's from Minnesota, and she tried to was looking at Lynx tickets, and they're almost sold out up there.
Yeah.
So, well, gentlemen, it was a great weekend. They're wild down there because the Pacers are in the Eastern Conference Finals too. So
that's right.
Yeah, there were a bunch of Pacer players there at that game. Also, they've been very supportive of the Fever for sure. So
yeah, they have. It's great actually.
Well, gentlemen, it's fun to watch.
It is.
She's carrying the torch for us, and I think we'll, I think we're going to still have some competitive teams over here, but obviously it won't be nothing ever like for her again. And our lifetime, I'm too old to see anything else.
No, we may have some more complete teams.
Yeah.
Than Caitlin had, but we're never going to have a player like Caitlin. No, of course not.
You're absolutely right, Tom. She made everybody around her much better. She made good players better players, too, for sure. So, gentlemen,
all right.
Have a great day, as always.
John, thank you for the call.
You bet. Bye-bye.
So think Iowa ever gets to the NCAA Women's Championship game again?
I don't know. See how recruiting goes.
Think in your lifetime?
Well, I'm going to live a long time, Pat, because I'm ornery. I mean, well, I'd say probably not.
If you live 20 more years, what, will you be 93?
Yes.
That's about how, like I said, that'd be like my dad. My dad was 92. So, yeah, obviously the odds are against it happening.
I would say the odds are against it, but will we make the Final Four in my lifetime? I believe we will.
If somebody asked me that, I would say no, but I'm maybe more... I mean, you're a much bigger fan than I am. I think some of yours is sort of...
We need some better players.
Well, and I think some of those it's embedded in you more than it is in me to be pro glass half full. That's kind of how you
well, that's fair.
And that's not criticism. I'm looking at it more as as a journalist when I to answer the question, you're looking at it more as a fan who loves the Hawks, and I think that
is true.
And there's nothing wrong with either one.
Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, I have a question about the Iowa baseball game over the weekend. Watching the game, noticed that each team had the other team's sticker or logo on their bat. I was just wondering, did they inspect each other's bats? Because Oregon had Iowa Tiger Hawk on theirs, and Iowa's bat had a Oregon logo.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. I have no clue. I have no
So
idea.
my guess would be, they would inspect them.
Mm-hmm. Well, in
That's what I
mutual,
was
yeah,
wondering.
okay, yeah, maybe that's what it is.
Great question.
I have no idea.
All right, thanks, guys.
I guess with wood bats, you're like for cork and
yeah.
I mean,
Well, hopefully somebody listening knows that, because we have facilities people.
Yeah, please call in if you know the answer to that.
They inspect the pitcher's gloves in their hands to make sure there's no foreign substance.
Oregon sure hit like their bats were cork, didn't they? And I say that kiddingly. I'm kidding.
Yep.
Because of course they're using aluminum bats in the college level, but I think with Oregon wood bats, I think some of those guys will be using wood bats very soon.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
But what's crazy about that is, like you said, their leading hitter, that Mason DeVille, came in with 26 home runs, led the Big Ten in walks, and he was, I think, 1 for 13 with like 10 or 11 strikeouts.
Had one double.
His double did start the Turner comeback.
It did.
But that was his only hit. And that's with aluminum bats. I mean, I don't know if people really realize the reason the pros don't use aluminum bats is because pitchers would get killed.
Yes.
Third baseman would get killed.
Yeah.
The amount of power and thrust and burst that comes off an aluminum bat compared to wood, it's not even close. So I don't know what would they be inspecting with aluminum bats.
I don't know.
That's what doesn't make sense to me. If it was wood, yeah, but what are you expecting with aluminum bats?
Well, there might be something you could supercharge aluminum bats. Who knows?
I have no.
Put super balls in.
I mean,
who knows?
You would ideally you would like to use wood bats at that, but eventually we're going to run out of trees, wouldn't we?
Yeah, it's
there's just not. I just don't think there's. It's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for Johnny Baldwin calling in.
Yeah. Hey, no problem.
So much wisdom.
Okay.
so much of something.
Billy Ackerman called in, right?
Yeah,
yes, he did.
Callers bonding together. What do you think of this? You're bringing a community together.
Wow. We're all coming together,
Whoa.
Paul. All coming together as a community.
Yeah, you remember the bubble, Tom?
Yes, I do.
I almost deflated it.
The snow did, and they called me in.
Were you in charge of the bubble?
No, it was Del Gerke.
Yep, remember Dill.
Yeah, I do too.
Hey, how about Kenny?
How about Nile or the stadium?
I'm looking over my notes from today.
Your notes?
Don't take it away from the students.
Don't take what away from the students?
Kinnick.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's in the plans.
That's not in the plans from what I'm aware of.
No, it was a 30-year plan, but nope, keep it central.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's any danger of them moving it now.
Oh, it's not going to move now. Not when they did the $70 million renovation. What was that, like 10, 15 years ago?
What, North End Zone? No, it was.
Well, but that was part of it. But they started like over the last 10 or 15 years, they've spent millions of dollars.
The South End Zone
They've spent millions of dollars to renovate Kinnick, and they did the press box. They redid the press box, air conditioning. That was in like 06 or 07, I think.
Oh, the North End Zone back in high school? We used to take spiked watermelons up there and sit on the grass.
Did you sneak in?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get on to Melrose, the old baseball stadium.
Uh-huh.
Freddie Mims used to jack them over to them apartments.
Freddie was good.
Yes, he did. He was really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was, yeah. And there was Brad Trickey with him.
Mm-hmm.
That was Mr. Banks's. I still got my ring, 1990.
Yeah, Fred played on the 72 team.
Oh, no. Yeah, that was
Fred wasn't on the 90
Wayne.
team. He was on the 72 team that played in the World Series.
You got that right, Pat.
Well, all right, Paul. We thank you for your call, buddy.
Yeah, you remember old Rochester, Tom?
Rochester?
Oh, yeah, it used to be a dirt road.
Okay.
When? I mean,
Well, yeah, it did.
So you remember it as a dirt road?
Vaguely.
With 50s?
Yeah, I mean, vaguely.
Okay.
But I wasn't driving then, but...
Well, this used to be a dirt road out here.
Uh-huh. Well, not too long ago.
No, not too long ago.
That's progress, boys.
They call it progress.
Yeah.
What did Beavis say about progress? Sucks.
Sucks.
Progress sucks.
Yeah.
Go to North Liberty and Tiffin.
Yeah.
There's a lot of progress out there. You
Yeah,
drive
boy,
by
I guess.
965 compared to 15 years ago.
It's
My
just
God.
incredible.
Well, even 10 years ago.
I mean, it's just nuts.
It is.
I remember when there were 50 people up in North Liberty.
Uh-huh. No, you're right. Well, no.
Well, I remember making the drive to.
When I was a
Primetime
kid,
League
there
games.
was the Purple Cow and Kozer's Grocery.
Well, you made the drive to the Primetime League, and there would actually be a gap.
Uh-huh.
And now it's just
yes.
every restaurant in the book you can think of is out there.
Yep.
That was old Corville by Babs and all the strip clubs.
Yeah. Did you go to the strip clubs, Paul?
I was only 15 years old then.
Which means, yeah, you did. Okay.
You snuck in.
I got you.
They didn't care back then.
Apparently not.
All right. Well, thank you for the call, buddy.
Take care.
Okay.
Paul checking in.
Well, he's been around.
Yeah.
I find it amazing he was taking notes so he could only make, because he thought he could get the one call in today.
Oh,
so
there
he
you
wanted
go.
to make sure it was thorough.
Captain's not here. You can call him. This, I bet this is him.
Hello.
Hey, this is Rex Brandstatter. Stay in your lane. I'll handle the history.
Fake Rex.
That's a rare one.
Boy, Rex does know that stuff. Though,
Boy, he
man.
sure does.
Wow.
You know, every
and
town,
so does Bill Ackerman.
every town has at least one or two people that have that just down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Remember Irving Weber?
Yeah.
He used to drive around in a bus with a guy, and they'd do tours and stuff. Remember? I remember I had to cover that one time at the Press Citizen, and he yelled at the bus driver a couple times. No, you missed the turn. And I just remember giggling. I got an old guy yelling at another old guy, and it was just kind of funny. Irving didn't mess around, man. Did you ever go on any of his tours?
Uh-uh.
I figured you and Ann would have went on one of those.
No, I
So
never
we're in
had any contact with him whatsoever.
Really?
No, nothing. Uh-uh.
Wow.
Oh.
That surprises me. You guys never had him on the radio?
Not to my knowledge.
Wow.
Well, when did he die?
Well, I moved here in '91, and I remember him. He used to come into the Press Citizen.
He didn't live much longer after that.
I
did
bet he lived another maybe 10 years, because he used to come into the Press Citizen. I remember him coming in to drop stuff off, like commentaries and what have you. But I just remember there was this thing on the whatever station it was, maybe public TV, public access, where he would drive around. He'd ride in a bus and do tours. And I just remember covering it one time for the.
He died in 1997.
Okay, so 6 years after I got here. And I think a lot of those tours were old from like the early night. They looked like they were so dated. But he would literally drive around in a city bus, and he would go to different landmarks and lecture on them. And I covered it one time for the Press Citizen for I don't know what we were doing, and I just remember him yelling at the guy, and I thought it was funny that the guy had missed the turn.
Hello.
Hey, dudes.
Hey.
Hey, so Pre-Paul made a comment about aluminum bats and
yes,
pitchers getting throttled. I'm here to tell you, aluminum bat can do a lot of.
Yeah,
I know from experience. I know from experience. I had my teeth almost knocked out.
Well, he's got He's got a better story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, mine happened on the playing field.
I was standing on third, kicking a 12-pack of Coors Light, and my coach hit a ball with an aluminum bat off a tee, and it actually lifted me off my feet when it knocked me out. And
so is this during a baseball game? What was
coming out of my nose? And
What was
Didn't
this?
touch a baseball again until I was like 22.
So was this during a game or practice or what?
This was a practice in second grade t-ball.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow.
So, what'd you mention about a 12-pack of beer?
Well, there was a piece of cardboard, right, that they were using for the bases.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, not a teenager. I was.
Yeah, no, I was luckily I was a senior in high school when mine happened.
So it hit you in the head?
Square in the nose.
Oh, wow.
Mine hit me right here.
Oh, spent 3 hours in the Mercy ER.
Wow.
Yeah.
And did you have any long-term effects from that?
I can't sit in a ballpark and hear the crack of a bat without ducking.
I can imagine.
I actually did.
Yeah, I ran into a guy, about 10, 15 years ago, and he told me, he said, my two sons played Division I ball, and he said, once I saw a Miami pitcher get hit in the face harder than you, but other than that, he said, that was the worst thing I've ever seen on a baseball diamond.
Wow.
Yeah, luckily mine bounced once before it came, but then it came right up and hit me right on the mound.
Wow.
I turned my head too, and it hit me on the side and the lower, jacked my teeth all up. It was not
Break
fun.
your jaw?
Did not break my jaw. Amazingly, it did not. Big, huge bruise and what have you. And yeah, no, it was off an aluminum bat.
That'd make you gun shy for a couple months, wouldn't it?
Well, I pitched the next time, but I mean, I missed one start, I think. But no, I always kind of thought about that. But then once you get pitching, you don't really think about it once you're in the heat of the battle.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, to be honest with you, to pitchers.
Yeah. I wasn't really cut out for baseball, so it was a good retirement. Have a good day, guys.
All right, man. Thanks, dude.
But yeah, if they used aluminum bats at any level of professional baseball,
it'd be awful.
You'd be hearing, the scores would be 17-15 and what have you. I'm surprised that there's not more higher scores in college baseball. I mean, the guys that pitch well at the college level against aluminum bats are really accomplishing something.
Yeah. Well, it's, but yeah, it's too expensive. The wood's so expensive anymore. Have either of you toured a baseball bat factory?
No.
I have not.
I've always kind of wanted to.
Down in Louisville, I've been to the Baseball Hall of Fame, which was cool.
Oh, I'd love to go there.
I would too, and I have not.
I went there when we played Syracuse in football. We drove over.
Oh, okay.
God, I have to think that was 2006. That was 19 years ago that they played Syracuse in football up there. You didn't go to that trip?
No.
I figured that would have had you written all over it.
No, we didn't go.
Weekend
we
upstate.
weren't back then. We weren't traveling much at all.
Rent a home.
We had young kids.
Rent a home for 10 days on Lake Champlain while you're up there.
No, we weren't.
Well, yeah,
we didn't have no money.
2006, your daughters would have been like, what, in junior high? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molly was 13 and Amy was 10.
But yeah, I remember making that trip. I wasn't there very long. I just remember driving and seeing around the area there. I remember a bunch of little lakes. It's cool. Upstate New York is neat. There's some really neat areas. And I've always wanted to go to, you know where I'm talking about, Lake Champlain there. And I've never been there, but I've seen it. It looks really cool. Have you ever been there?
We played upstate New York. I remember driving through there. Maybe it was on our way to Niagara Falls.
But there are,
I can't remember.
But there are some really neat areas up there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
I just came across a kind of interesting baseball factoid.
Sure.
Everybody's favorite lethal pitcher, Bob Feller. When he was in high school, he pitched on, like a jobber, like a municipal team.
Yes.
And I suppose you guys know who his catcher was.
Maybe if you tell us again, it may rekindle, but right now I don't.
Not right offhand.
Niall Kinnick.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I thought, he was from Adele, and Feller was the heater from Van Meter. I just thought that was kind of a neat thing.
That is neat. I was unaware of that.
I think I did. I do recall that, but I would never have guessed it again. That's interesting. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, good.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Good show.
No, unfortunately, Bob Feller was kind of a
Racist?
Well, I'm not kind of a dick. I can explain.
A curmudgeon.
Well, we reached out to interview him for something at the Press Citizen, and I think it was the late Bryce Miller, God rest his soul, that interviewed him, and Feller was so mean over the phone that Bryce was holding the phone out so we could hear it, and we were all just laughing because he was just yelling and screaming, and it was just, and I remember thinking, why would that guy be unhappy?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, born with that arm and the success, fighter pilot, he was a war hero, he was everything, and yet he was just really mean. But sometimes you have those. I remember, like, when I interviewed Bob Greasy on the phone, he was really mean.
Mm-hmm.
And was pissed off that I had his number, which I got from Dick Vitale, I think it was. Now, Dick Vitale, anytime you talk to Dick Vitale, he is the nicest guy in the world.
I've heard that.
I mean, I've interviewed him 2 or 3 times on the phone. He makes you feel like you're the most important person in the world when you're talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get that from...
Wow.
You don't get that from everybody. That person...
Hello.
Oh, hi. Hey, I was going to just continue the conversation about the aluminum bat.
Sure.
Yeah.
I, too, like Pat, but a little bit older, I pitched in high school and college. And my only fear, other than facing some monster hitters once in a while, was that somebody would break a wooden bat, and that piece would come right back at me. But I tell you, it never really happened. I usually, for some odd reason, they went over towards second base or shortstop or third. But later on, and this would have been probably 10 or 15 years ago, in those days, it was all we had some. Just like they were just introducing aluminum bats when I got out of high school in the mid '70s, and I think they weren't using them in college yet because I pitched in college. But so 10 or 15 years ago, I was at a girls' softball game up in Solon, and they're using a lot of aluminum bats. The DeMarini was a big one. That Lopez had a signature bat. And sitting right behind home plate, and a girl with a really powerful swing. I can't remember. I think she fouled it off. I don't think she swung a miss. But anyway, she had an aluminum bat in her hand, and she snapped it right in half, right below the barrel. And the end of the bat came back and hit the screen. Thank God the screen was there right in front of all the fans. And that bat laid there in the dirt, and it just was completely jagged all around, just like you broke a pop bottle in half.
Wow.
And I had never seen that before, and thank God it didn't hit anybody. But she snapped that aluminum bat right in half, almost like it was a factory defect or something. But I just want to tell that story. It was really interesting listening to you guys talk about bats.
Yeah, that's wild. I've never seen that happen, and thank God nobody got hurt.
No, that's bizarre.
That's a weapon.
Yeah.
That's a flying weapon.
Yeah, it was really scary. But anyway, thanks for the comments. Enjoy the show.
Oh, thank you very much. Now, how we always say that sometimes when we're on the air, things happen.
Yeah.
What just happened?
Emily Rodriguez signs with Iowa women's basketball.
At least now I'll have. We can leave it. Can we call it at 10:30 today?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I want to go home and I don't have anyone to post. Oh, she's already signed too.
Yes.
So Iowa. I'm guessing Iowa probably already has a story.
Yes, they do.
Okay, so I'll have somebody post it.
Yeah. So that's great because I had seen something that said she was probably going to visit North Carolina State this week, but obviously she's not. So
good deal.
And she picked him over Indiana, right?
Yep.
Hello.
I'm heading to see the Fever play the Liberty on Saturday in Indianapolis, and we are kind of debating on whether to spend the night there or drive to Chicago to see AC/DC. But then all of a sudden, the Eastern Conference Finals is the next day, and hotels are like 4 times as expensive in downtown Indianapolis.
Oh,
It's
wow.
kind of crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who are they playing Saturday?
The Liberty.
Oh, that'll be a heck of a game.
And that's on CBS.
On CBS.
CBS.
We're sitting up high. Never been there before, but prices, at least around Christmas when we bought them, were pretty reasonable. So less than $100 a piece, but we're up high. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, nosebleeds, but hey,
you're there.
Yep. All right.
Well, thank you, and we just got a call a few minutes ago. Someone paid, or John Ballmer paid $600 a pop.
Yeah,
he said $620, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And then was at a party last night, and one of the women and her husband are driving down to Cambridge today for Tuesday's game, and she said that they got pretty good price. They got it for like $180
Tuesday night game.
and they're decent but not great seats.
Yeah, so they host in Atlanta, and that's on NBA TV, which means if you have the WNBA League Pass, you get it. Is
Yes.
that right? Okay.
Yes.
And then Thursday they are at Atlanta, and that's on Amazon Prime. So then
Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then Saturday's on CBS.
So I have 3 games this week. Wow.
Yeah, and that's Caitlin mentioned that in the post game. He says, and you got to be ready because you play a game, you have a couple days off, and you play another one, and it just keeps going like that. So, So they have not like they started off last year. They seem like play every other day, but
And they start off 1-9.
Yes.
But this is a good team.
It is. I'm looking forward to watching. I couldn't watch Saturday because I was out of town.
Then Sophie didn't play.
Yeah.
When's their next game?
Tomorrow night.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I can't. I was hoping I could get a hold of either Rob or Dallas to post it, but I'm going to probably have to go home and do it. They're probably
All right. Well, a really fun show today. We had so many interesting calls.
Yep, we did.
And it was excellent.
All right. Well, we thank you all for listening, and Captain Steve will be back for Wednesday's episode.
He will. And okay, Molly Suter is next. HawkFanatic.com. Check it out. It's free.
There's a